Hello there and welcome to the Fast Forward Show. Today, I'm delighted to interview Mark Davies, who's the Managing Director of Westcoast Cloud. When Mark joined West Coast Limited 6 years ago, the cloud business had virtually no revenue and just 4 people. Fast forward 6 years on, there are now 48 members of staff and almost £100 million worth of revenue. I'm excited to hear your journey. Welcome, Mark.
Hello, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you for inviting me on your show.
So, Mark, your career really fast-tracked at your previous employer and really fast-tracked after you completed your MBA. You actually gained 3 promotions at that employer before moving on to lead West Coast Cloud to be the incredible success story it is today. Tell me, I'm really interested to know, what was it like studying for an MBA as a mature student?
Yeah, it was interesting. So I never did a degree when I first left school. I went into catering and trained to be a chef for 3 years. So that was non-academic. It was all very practical. So that was another string to my bow, and I can still cook a mean meal now. But the thing about it that I struggled with was I was a mid-level manager for quite a long period of time, over 10 years. And just getting to that academic place was what was the initial challenge, was because it's a different mindset altogether what they're looking for. So it was challenging to get started, but once you get into the groove of it, then it was sort of like the people that were around you that were all mature students as well, and then the mindset that you needed to be in. It was incredibly rewarding.
And what was it that kind of made you decide to do an MBA at that stage of your life and your career?
I think in my own head, it was some validation of me as a person. It definitely wasn't about anyone else. It was, who am I? What am I capable of? And I went in straight to a master's level. I didn't do a degree and warm up into it. I thought, right, I'd throw myself in at the deep end and do a master's, which was for me, it just felt like I should be able to achieve it, and then it would give me validation as me as a person. So then when I was having conversations with either the business I was in or in other businesses, then it would show, academically what I'm capable of doing. So I knew I had the business capability, because I had the experience of doing that for over 10 years. I just needed a qualification for me that showed that was possible too.
And so what kind of difference do you think it has made to you in your career and in day-to-day business?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what side of the fence you're on, really. Some people think degrees are a waste of time and, experience is everything. And some people will go, well, no, you need a qualification to prove what you're capable of. And, when I'm very much in the middle, I don't, if I'm recruiting for people into a position, they don't have to have a degree. That's not essential to me. But it does show a level of capability or commitment that people are prepared to make. I mean, if I look at my own commitment, when I did this, I had 3 young children, I was working full time, and then I was doing a 3-year part-time MBA, which was a day release plus 20 or 30 hours worth of reading. So, this shows what you're capable of and what you're prepared to commit to, I think, more than how clever am I or how clever am I not. It's not about how clever you are. You don't need to be clever to do a degree. You do need to be persistent, and you do need to be clear about what you want from it and how you actually are going to achieve it.
Yeah, I suppose if anything, I think maybe doing a degree sort of later on in life or in your career takes even more commitment, because, when you're 18, 19, you don't have 3 children, a house, a mortgage to pay, and a career that you're already balancing. That's your full-time thing. How did you manage that time-wise with everything else?
I mean, I'll speak to my children, they'll probably say poorly. At the time, I felt that it was very much a case of you have to make sacrifices. And I think, again, when you go to an employer and what it looks like is that your commitment level might be higher than somebody that hasn't had to go through this, because there's the evidence of it. It's not for a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks of hard graft. It's 3 years of this doesn't go away, and it steadily gets the degree I did, it just gets harder and harder. But so by the time we got to year 3, we were doing a consultancy piece of work for one of the largest car parking companies in Europe that turn over sort of £6 billion and €6 billion, sorry. And they were very much a case of, they allowed these 4 MBA students into their premises to do some consultancy work for them, but then they were going to implement what we did. So it was this, again, I was working for a business that was around 10 million, 12 million turnover at the time. So to be into a company of that sort of size, it was a wake-up call really to what I was capable of achieving, even in a massive business.
Yeah. And so if I am actually thinking of doing this, I was going to say, if I was to do something like this, what would you tell me to be ready for in terms of personal time commitment on a weekly, monthly sort of basis?
Yeah. So at least, and it depends on the areas of it that you are strong in now, and then you'd need to focus on. But for me, it was a day release. So I was still working full time, sort of 40 hours plus and 8 hours on top of it. And then it's 20 to 30 hours of reading each week. So it's that sort of amount. Now, if you're so at the time I was good at operations, because I'd been doing operations for sort of like 10 years. And so then when we got to that module, I didn't need to do 20 or 30 hours worth of reading. I had the experience to, foot off the pedal. When it came to things like strategic finance, liquidity ratios, things like that, okay, now mind blown. I need to do a lot of reading, a lot of, research and really understand the subject, because it wasn't natural to me. So yeah, the 20 to 30 hours a week of reading is indicative of what your commitment, and then you go, right, how am I going to fit that in? It's 2 or 3 hours a night. It's a solid amount of time. Every Saturday morning I used to be down the library at the university doing a good 4 or 5 hours of reading down there. It's I don't want to say it's relentless, but if you're not committed to it, you're not going to get out of it what you need. So, and then that's the thing, it was a big financial commitment. I paid for it myself. And it was an investment in me for the future, and I'm really glad I did it.
Mark, thank you so much for telling us about how you've accelerated your career so well, and how you've got into the position that you are today. Congratulations. It's a great success story, and best of luck for the future.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.